Hello and welcome to another session in mathematics. In this session we'll be looking at deductive proof of angles. But before that, let us take a review of our previous lesson. Welcome back. Our focus in this lesson is on the relationship of triangles on a straight line. We'll also deal with revision of angles on parallel line, which are cut by a transversal line, and lastly we'll look at some of angles of a triangle. Okay, let's start. In our previous class we talked about some angles. In this lesson we will start with angles like straight line angles. I told us earlier that angle on a straight line is equal to 180. You can call this straight line angle or angle on a straight line. They are all the same thing, angle on a straight line. Okay, so now the angle on a straight line is equal to 180. So the sum of angle on a straight line is what? Is 180 degree. Angle on a straight line is an angle of the form this. Okay, this is a straight line. Now the angle here is equal to what? 180. Remember, when you bisect this, you have a right angle, something like this. This is a right angle 90, right? And this is also angle 90, that giving us a total of what? 180 degree. So this type of angle is what we call what? Angle on a straight line or straight line angle. Then we have what we call complementary angles. Complementary angles are angles that their sum equals 90 degrees. Okay, when two angles sum 90 degrees, then we say that these two angles are complementary angles. They are complementary if x plus y is equal to 90 degree. If x plus y is equal to 90 degree, then we say that these two angles are what? Are complementary. For instance, if we have something like this being bisected, here is our x and here is our y. Remember, these two angles gives us what? A right angle triangle, right? And a right angle triangle is equal to 90 degrees. So x plus y is equal to 90 degrees. Because they sum to 90 degrees, we call them what? Complementary angles. Okay, we have supplementary angles. And I've taught you something on supplementary angles. I told us that supplementary angles are angles who sum up to 180. Okay, when we have x plus y to be equal to 180, we say that these two angles are what? Supplementary. For instance, we have a straight line and then we have an angle, say x, and another angle y. Remember, angle on a straight line is equal to what? 180. So x plus y is equal to 180, and therefore they are called what? Supplementary angles. Supplementary angles are those angles that sum up to what? 180 degrees. Okay, then we have angle at a point. Angle at a point. Sum up to 360 degree. Now I want you to note all these things. Complementary angle is 90 degrees, supplementary is 180, but angle at a point is what? 360 degrees. Okay, the sum of angle at a point is what? 360 degrees. It's important to note that. Assuming we have something like this, and we'll have another line bisecting it, and then we'll have another one here. Don't mind my drawing, and let's assume here is X, here is Y, here is Z, this is V, this is W. Now the addition of all these angles gives us 360. We have X plus Y plus Z plus V plus W, and if they sum up to 360 degree, then we'll say that they are what? Angle at a point. Angle at a point. Angle at a point sum what? Up to 360 degrees. So the sum of angle at a point is what? 360 degrees. Note that. Okay, let's go over to what we call parallel lines. Parallel lines. Okay, parallel lines are straight lines. Straight lines that we will never meet. Straight lines that we will never meet. Okay, they will never meet at any point. For instance, if we have a line, say line PQ, and we have another line, say line RS. Now these two lines are parallel to each other because they cannot do what? They cannot meet at any point. Okay, now these two lines are what we call what? Parallel lines. Let's assume that another line cuts these two lines, and we call this X and Y. Line XY is what we call what? Transversal. Transversal. Okay, now a straight line cutting two or more lines is what we call what? Transversal. A straight line, this is a straight line cutting line PQ and line RS, so we call it what? A transversal. Now let's use this illustration here to solve to prove some rules in angle. Okay, let's call here angle A, and this is angle B, this is C, and this is D. I will have P here, call this Q, R, and X. Okay, now in angle, whenever we have something like this, we have conditions or we have rules that back this up. Okay, now we have what we call corresponding angles. Corresponding angles. This idea or this knowledge you are acquiring right now will help you solve every problem you face or you encounter in angles or triangles. Okay, corresponding angles are equal. Okay, when we talk about corresponding angles, they are equal. So in this diagram, angle A and angle B is equal. They are called corresponding angles. Angle A is equal to P. So it means if A is 30, B also should be 30. Then B and Q are corresponding angles. So B is equal to Q. Okay, they are called what? Corresponding angles. We are not done. D and S are corresponding angles. So D is equal to S. Okay, now also C and R are corresponding angles. So C is equal to R. Now these four angles are what we call what? Corresponding angles. Okay, apart from that, we have another angle which we call alternate angles. Alternate angles too are equal. Alternate angles are equal. Alternate angles here include C and P. So C is equal to P. Okay, now looking at it now, which other angles are alternate? Anybody? Okay, D and Q, that's correct. D is equal to Q. This is the angle, this is the angle, they are equal. This angle and this angle are also what? Equal. So we call them what? Alternate angles. Okay, let's go on. Apart from corresponding angles and alternate angles, we have what we call the interior angle. Interior angles, and two interior angles are supplementary. Two interior angles are supplementary. You know what we mean by being supplementary? It means that two of them sum up to what? 180. Addition of two angles there will give us 180. Let's go back to our diagram. We have C and Q. C and Q are said to be interior angles. Okay, they're said to be interior angles, C and Q. So it means that C plus Q is equal to 180 degree. Also, D and P are interior angles. So D plus P is also 180 degrees. Okay, let's go back. Apart from the interior angles, we also have what we call opposite angles. Opposite angles. A is opposite to C, B is opposite to D, P is opposite to R, Q is opposite to what? X. Now in this, we say that opposite angles are equal. So that means that A is equal to C, B is equal to D. So let's write. We have opposite angles. Under opposite angles, A is equal to C, comma, B is equal to D, comma, go back. P is equal to R and Q is equal to S. P is equal to R and Q is equal to S. Okay, then apart from that, we also have what we call adjacent angles on a straight line, and they add up to 180. Let's go over adjacent angles on a straight line. On a straight line, and I told us that they add up to what? They add up to 180 degrees. So which angles are adjacent angles on the straight line there? Let's go back. We have angle D and C. These two angles are angles on a straight line. They give us what? 180. Angle A and B gives 180. Is that correct? So A plus B is 180. Also B plus Q is 180. X plus R is also 180. So they are called what? Adjacent angles on a straight line. Okay, D plus C is equal to 180 degree. We have S plus R is equal to 180 degree. We have A plus B is equal to 180 degree, and also we have P plus Q to be equal to 180 degrees. Okay, so in summary, we will have that one. We have that one corresponding angles are equal. Corresponding angles are equal. Okay, then apart from that, we also have that alternate angles. Alternate angles are equal. They are what? Equal. And then number 3, we have that interior opposite angles. Interior opposite angles add up to 180 degrees. Then number 4, we have that vertically opposite angles. Vertically opposite angles are equal. Okay, then we have the 5th one, that adjacent angles on a straight line add up to up to 180. Okay, so these are what we've actually succeeded in doing today. Let's quickly take the test on the screen to refresh our memory on what we've done so far. Okay, welcome back. So far we've been able to cover relationship of triangles on a straight line and the revision of angles on parallel lines. Okay, we will stop here for today. In our next class, we'll go over to some of angles of a triangle. So do well to use the lesson note on the platform for better information understanding of what we've just done, and feel free to drop your question or comment on the comment box. Okay, so till we meet again in our next class, stay safe and bye.